Hello, people! Thanks for joining me. This PRS guitar came in, and it appeared to have been like thrown down 2 flights of stairs and landed on the headstock. I'm going to show you what I did for a clear finish on this, and just give you a brief synopsis about how I got it to the point where I was level enough and flat enough to do a finish. I used a lot of epoxy putty and a lot of shellac, cherry red dye, mix all red, and a color called Bordeaux. I also used a lot of the Fill and Finish Thin, which is a Glu+Boost product, to get it smooth before I sprayed. And when I did spray, I sprayed through the airbrush a mixture of mix all red, cherry red, and then on the second spray I put on that Bordeaux Burst. I hope you like the way it turned out. Now that I've got the color where I want it on this guitar, and I've got all those repairs and cracks and nasty breaks all camouflaged and hidden by the new paint and lacquer, I'm going to start on my clear finishing. And what I mean is I'm inside and I'm doing French polish finish with shellac, which is a natural resin. I take a full cup of this and I put it in the mason jar, and then I fill 4 more of these cups all the way up to the top and put them inside and mix it all up. So that gives me 4 parts denatured alcohol and 1 part shellac flakes. Mixed up yields a 2-pound cut of shellac. I'm going to dilute it even further now with denatured alcohol for my first application. I'm going to put in 3 droppers of denatured and 3 of shellac. I'm going to wrap it up in a muslin piece of muslin fabric, and I'll tie it off with a rubber band, and I'm ready to go. So let's take a look at this guitar. So here it is. That dark color that I put on there is called Bordeaux again. I'll just kind of see how much of the color is going to come off on the pad. Actually, quite a bit. I'm going to hit this area right here where the letters are real quick and let that dry. Even my very first application should be with a paper towel, so that all that color comes off on the paper towel. That color will stop coming off here after the first couple coats. I just did the same thing here on the top. I went down the middle first to lay 1 quick layer over the lettering, so that I don't smear any of that color around over top of that white or silver paint. And then I went around the edges. Okay, I don't want to gunk up my nice new pad with that red color that's kind of coming off on it. I want to make sure that the color comes off on a paper towel first. I'm going to throw the paper towels out. And then I'll just put a couple drops on a paper towel and give my first couple wipes here Could do a little more on the headstock here, see how that does. Still got some red coming off on it. Not that much coming off now. Since this is such a small area, I'm only doing like a 15-minute session. I'm going to save my pad in this little container and give it a couple hours, and I'll come back. I'll give you a look at it. So this is the first session of 15 minutes. It's kind of wet looking. It's kind of, it's kind of oily. I put the mineral oil in there at some point, and that's what makes it so shiny. But we'll come back. We'll do some more. Next, I'm going to use the shellac that has sanderac resin in it with this pad. Sanderac. And actually, it has mastic gum and sanderac resin in it, and it smells really nice. So I'm going to go in and put a little on this pad and give her a couple wipes here. Okay, so I'm going to give her a sanderac resin, shellac. Sometimes I switch directions. I go and make some figure eights. Do some straight across wipes. And then I might put on some walnut oil. 1 drop. A little bit more of the shellac, sanderac resin. And I always take a piece of paper and I see how wet it is. Not too wet. So wiping on shellac is kind of like a plane coming in for a landing and then taking off again. Once you get your guitar in place, that is. Plane come in, plane take off. Little landing strip. We do a little snake. Little landing strip, little snake, little figure 8. Sometimes a couple circles. So now, take a little bit of this. He's got pumice. Give it a shake. Get a little oil. Get a little shellac. We get a little busy. Well, guess what, guys? There was a change of plans. As I polished and polished, and I kept polishing, I kept seeing that a gloss finish on this bad boy was not going to give me the results that I wanted, and it just wasn't building up quick enough. The French polish was too thin. I started level sanding it, and I decided that I was going to go ahead and spray it all. But I didn't do the whole, 9 to a dozen build coats and then wet sand and then spray a flash coat. What I did is just go for a dead flat look. And what a dead flat look gives you is it camouflages all the damaged areas. It disguises them. A high gloss finish usually highlights all the damage and makes things just look worse. So he's gonna just have to live with this, I think, like it or not, because I definitely wasn't going to be satisfied with the gloss. But anyways, I'm definitely going to be satisfied with a flat finish on this. And I know typically there's a lot of guys out there that are going to say, you can't do that. You can't take a guitar that was a gloss finish and then change part of it to a flat finish. It's just against the rules. But I actually have customers come in a lot of times and they ask me to take the gloss finish off the back of the neck because it doesn't feel good a lot of times to these guys. It's not smooth, like a baby's bottom like this feels right now. It feels really smooth. Like you can slide your hand up and down the neck on an unfinished, like the speed players will want an unfinished maple neck because it's so smooth. It never gets sticky, when your hand gets sweaty and stuff. You're doing an outside show. If you've never done an outside show, maybe you wouldn't know. But in the summertime, especially in the South, everything gets sticky, and sometimes you end up putting like bug spray on yourself, and that gets on your guitar. And next thing you know, you've got just a sticky old guitar neck. So maybe I'm doing this customer a favor by leaving a finish like this. But anyways, enough talking. I'm going to put it together, put the strings on, and give him a call and let him know that he can play his guitar once again. But again, guys, if a guitar's had a neck break, I don't suggest heavy strings. I always suggest going to a light gauge string. And I told him right away, I'm putting 9 through 42 on this. And you should probably get you a hard case if you're going to do any gigging or traveling with it. He brought it in a soft case. And then you never want to hang it. buy the headstock, you know, on one of those hangers like I have hanging on the wall over here. Don't want to hang it on a wall hanger. I know it's pretty and you want to show it off, but you're going to have to leave it on a floor hanger or a floor stand. Bridge pickup, or the neck pickup's a little muddy. Probably sounds good clean. Yeah, it sounds good clean. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in and sticking around to the end. I appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you later.